Howdy everyone, Nimby here. Gonna be tying a Dandy Green Nymph today. Morning. Morning, Doug. Didn't take you long. Or sorry, Robert, not Doug. My bad. My stream element spot is down. I'm gonna have to fix them later. So it's showing my old info from the other stream. Oh, good. Hey, so for this one, we're going to be using this nice green pheasant rump. One of these speckled kind of church windows for the tail fibers, and we'll use the green rump feathers for the soft hackle bit, which are going to be more on the side here. Nah. You never know with those things, right? Like, if you're not out there, you have zero chance of getting anything, so don't feel bad about it. That's all part of it, just like fishing, right? You gotta actually go out there and do it. Okay, so we got some those for the soft hackle. I think one feather's probably gonna do me for the tail and such. Get back in there. There we go. Oh. Hey, morning, you was. Haven't seen you in here a bit. Morning, tea. No, I didn't stir the sugar in yet. Well, that's much better. There we go. Okay, so for the well, I know stream element spot. I'm gonna fix you up today because you broke yourself. No, just regular Pico this morning. I was gonna do Earl Grey. I had it in my hand and I put it back. Went like, nah, I'm just gonna go with a regular Pico this morning. Hey, got that pretty thing all cleaned up. Look at the colors on that. They're real nice color cast on it. Now specifically for this fly, we're looking for that green on the top there, so I'm gonna section off these ones with a bit of a brown in them we're going to try for the green there. It's kind of the whole namesake of the fly is to use this green pheasant tail. Or pheasant rump or back, as it were. So we're going to go with the hook gap for the amount. Yeah, no kidding. Pheasant tail is, or just pheasant in general, is amazing for the color ranges, and when you have a pheasant skin, you can do almost anything with it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm only going to be on for about an hour and a bit here this morning, and then I'll probably be back later. Gotta get the kids to school and all that good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna get the tail in, and I'm gonna do the tail about half the body shank out. I don't want a huge tail on this one. It is a 2 times, what size are we? Size 8? Size 8, 2 times long, Togen's nymph hook. Although I really like Togen's hooks, I don't have a whole lot of them. But they're very cost effective. And they do make a really good quality hook. Oh, it's good and sturdy. Alright, so we got tail tied in. Let's see here. Need some yellow tying silk, and I think I might have. Huh. 1 second. Thought I had yellow tying silk on my desk, but I must have put it away. Hey, got some now. There, I thought it was all organized. Because I've probably seen this. Yeah, you said that a few times. It's always sad when disease rolls into an area. I always wondered if it was more difficult to hunt in Louisiana, being like lower land and everything, right? I'm just used to hills and mountains, so. I got our yellow tying silk in. The next bit's gonna be, this is a 52. What number is this? 25. 25 embroidery. Oh, this is a wool. Like a punch wool. But all we're looking for really is this kind of blue-green, light blue-green. Oh, that's all, yeah. Just poisonous snakes, that's all. I'm laughing, but we got lots of rattlesnakes up here. Gobs of rattlesnakes, actually. Depending on the area you're in, not so much in the forested areas, but definitely in the valleys and the dry areas, we've got lots of rattlesnakes. Oh yeah. No, that's cool. I'm excited for you for that. I can't wait to hear about that. The Great Lakes are interesting because it's like it's a freshwater lake, but it's so big it may as well be an ocean. Really? You own a rattlesnake? Yeah, we can't do that up here because they're protected and all that good stuff. They got, like his deer population, they got decimated pretty bad. 1 second, brain's going blank here. I got everything on there? Yep. One other thing you can use, which I have semi-handy, so I'll grab it. The traditional pattern actually calls for this stuff up here in the corner, which is polar bear hair dubbing, so the polar bear under fur, and I even have it ironically, in the right color for such an odd item to have in my fly tying materials as polar bear dubbing. But yeah, it was a really classic fly, and it's from that age. Like this would be 50s, 60s. Because it was originally tied by Frank Hedrick in 1945. So right around that era, it became popular in the 50s and 60s. And polar bear dubbing was a thing, and I just happened to have a bag of it that color for this specific fly. Yeah, I got quite a bit of polar bear, if I'm honest. Actually, hold on a second. I'm going to half hitch this and get it in the rotary because it's going to be a good bit of wrapping on this long body. The hook length that you want to use for this fly is going to really depend on the pheasant rump feathers that you're going to be tying with. It's probably easier to size the hook to the feather than to size the feather to the hook, unless you got a good selection. I'm just winging it, and I'm thinking my feathers will fit this one. But this nymph can be tied in everything from a 10 to an 8. And we're on an 8, so we're on the smaller side. Oh no, I don't want to muck my tail up. There we go. Yeah, the key is that it's coming out a little more washed out. I need to adjust my exposure on the camera a little bit. It's a little more washed out, overexposed. It looks a little more gray on the camera to me than the green. But it's like a light kind of bluey aqua green is the color you're looking for. Come on, Vice, hold still. Why are y'all going everywhere on me? Yeah, and just like the carrot nymph, we're gonna half wrap back to start making a thorax. And get to the last wrap here, I'm just gonna thin it with my fingers so it'll lay a little flatter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of the idea. That's why I like this. Why are you so... It's really weird because I have this just cranked down. Oh, I bet you're loose there. Huh. One second. Alright, I'm gonna have to fix that after this fly here. That's rather annoying, but we'll make it work. It actually came loose at the top of my vise where there isn't an adjustment. It's just a hex screw. Okay, so we're gonna go back there and then back again. This time about halfway. And then back again. So we make a nice... Yeah, it's really all over the place. I bumped it with my elbow yesterday. And I think that's probably what did it. By accident. And it hurt. Because it didn't move. Well, apparently it did. But not as much as my elbow. It was one of those like, oh, because it's attached to the desk pretty well. But I must have hit it hard enough to move the set screw a bit. Well, that's super annoying. Alright, we're just gonna tie this one. Sorry guys, it'll be slightly out of focus, but having it move everywhere is driving me nuts. Just for this part here, then I'll fix it. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do right there. And yellow is just a really subtle ribbing. It's nothing crazy. I've seen these commonly tied with a regular gold. Yeah, it was not. It hurt pretty good, to be honest. You're right in the funny bone, you know, where you hit it and it's like all your nerves are like twang. But obviously, it's not stripped or anything. It's threaded up top and then has a set screw, and it's tight like right now, just because I pulled it back on its threading. So right now it's sturdy, but I'm gonna have to move this back and then tighten it. So give me a sec here. I'll see if I can do that. Let's move it like here. Maybe a little bit more. There. Oh. I don't adjust this part of the vise very often because it always just stays. Okay, I think that's definitely better than it was. There, sorry it's a little bit overexposed for you guys, so I'll see if I can move my light a little bit here. It's a little better. The yellow's not coming through as much as I'd like it to, but that's okay. Still decent. Yeah, exactly. It should be like a light green, greeny blue. Okay, and I got, how many I got? Are there 3 of these? Well, I got a whole skin full, but like I got 3 picked off. So we're looking for these ones with this, same thing with that greeny blue, long fronds. And we got a whole whack of fluff to get rid of here on either side. It's crazy the amount of fluff. These things are kind of cool, because every upland game bird has these secondary feathers. And there's a handful of flies you can tie with these. But they're almost like a marabou, so if like you don't have marabou, you can get marabou off of a pheasant skin. There's quite a few places. But you could tie in a bunch of these if you needed to for tails. You can use them for gills on a side of a nymph. There's lots of different things you can use them for. But the vast majority of them get tossed, like that one. Well, I'm using wool. You want something that's a little bit buggy and has a little bit of translucent quality. Some people use seal too. I would use, for like more modern stuff, like an Antron or a poly kind of wool, or not wool, poly yarn would work fine. The main thing is really just getting that color. The material's not as important really as the color for this fly, because you're going to be ribbing it anyway. So as long as you can get a body like this that has a little bit of, you can see that sparkly buggy yarn coming out. And like if you want it even more buggy, you can brush it out and get it even more fibers going. Like that. It'll trap a little more water, trap a little more air. So as long as your material do that, hand dubbing was the traditional way to do it. So anything you could dub. I wouldn't really necessarily use like an ice dub or something that's synthetic. Okay, so we want a nice long hackle on this one. You want to cover it basically up to the tail. And this one's almost smack on where we want it, so that's cool. Just gonna change that music just a little bit on the excited jumpy side for me this morning. Okay, so we're just going to cut the tip off here. Leave a little triangle as your tie-in point. This one's a hair shorter than I would like it to be for such a long one. Probably should have grabbed more on the center back of the cape, but as long as we get 1, maybe 1.5 wraps, we'll be in good shape. So I'm going to tie that a little more on my side. 1 second here. Just given the size of this feather, I'm going to tie it on my side here instead of the top, because I think it's going to end maybe about 1.25 wraps. We'll see how it goes. Excuse me. Another tea. There we go. Alright. This should give us a really nice blue nymph that's just full of life and has a lot of movement in the water. And these are really handy early season. Although the nymphs are kind of mid-early season, I guess, but although the nymphs are in the water column all year long, they're never not there. There's not a season for them. You will get a population boom kind of early spring when the water starts to warm up, because there's just more food, there's more oxygen, everything's doing its thing just like it does in spring for everything else. And the newer nymphs that come out that time of year typically have a lighter cast to them, and they're this more aqua green kind of color. The young ones anyway. So that's why this one's tied in a 8 to a 10 typically, because it's going to be representing more of a young nymph that has a not quite as hard an exoskeleton. And then later in the season you'll see a lot more that are that nice kind of honey brown color, or a real dark brown like a root beer brown, which is my favorite kind of color to tie these. And they're in the water column all the time. It's just fish are keying in on what's hatching, and you're gonna get nymphs of all color ranges. Oh buddy, come on now. Rake has slipped on me there. I thought I had it, but it actually turned out fine because it adjusted itself. Hey, good morning, Maddie. Good to have you in, mate. Doing up a green, or dandy, is it Dandy Green? Yeah, Dandy Green Nymph from 1954. This is an early season nymph pattern, kind of mid-spring when everything's really kicking off. Mostly pheasant rump and some blue-green body with a yellow. That's one of the reasons that they use the yellow ribbing too, is again you want kind of a light color difference. Right, I'm just going to pin this back a bit because it's sticking out a little on my side, and we're going to lightly wrap that in. Make a little... Oh yeah. My go-to coloration for nymphs is generally more of like an olive green, but sometimes in the spring, if they're being fussy, this lighter color will just hit it off. Yeah, there you go. So just like a sparse, almost like a spider hackle. Kind of similar to the style that Maddie ties. You get a lot more of this in that area. I'm going to make a bigger head on it here. Actually, it's going to take me a second because I've got some thinner 8/0. But I do like to have a, decently substantial head because this is an imp. So we're just going to build that up a little bit here. Hindsight, I probably should have switched to 6/0 just to make it a little quicker. Might do that here actually. Because this fly, there's no real reason to be using 6/0. Okay. Oh, I got myself a nice orange pico. Oh. Are you gonna be salting roads? We're not quite there yet. We've had a snow that's stuck for half a day, and they did run. I was surprised they ran a grader over it because there was snow kind of piled on the edge of the road. But I was kind of like, well, that's a little overkill because it was only like inch and a bit maybe, and that's nothing because up here we can literally get like 4 to 7 feet of snow in one night. So an inch or so is like, eh. But yeah, I live at the top of a mountain. We're next to a fishing resort and a ski hill and a provincial park. Kind of nestled between. And since we're so high up and depending on where the moisture's coming from, we can get some crazy snow dumps up here. But that's all part of living on a mountain. And I got some pictures of me when I was younger next to the house up here that my dad built, and the snow's up right up to the east troughs on the house. Yeah, it's like Vancouver here. If they get a skiff of snow, it just shuts everything. I'm in the interior of BC, kind of like smack right in the middle if you threw a dart at it. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, it's very similar to the Rockies. The only real difference with the Rockies is they have more of like a blue-gray shale rock that a lot of the mountains are made out of there. Where here we have a lot more volcanic igneous rock, but hey, so there's your Dandy Green Nymph. This is again tied on a number 8, 2 times long. Togen's nymph hook with a pheasant rump tail, a green wool body with a yellow tying silk thread rib, and a green pheasant rump loose hackle. Again, super simple and very effective fly for early to mid-spring. Yeah, it's just one of those ones you keep a few in your box for if the standby patterns aren't working, if it's just a little bit different. I think it grabs and catches a little more light too, and it's got a lot more movement to the hackle when it's in the water. You got a law vise? Dude, that must have set you back a bit. I've always wanted to try it or tie on one because the jaw setup is well really unique, right? But it just looks like it would be a comfortable and beefy, secure vise to tie on. No, that's like a car payment or car. Hey, don't mind me for a second here. I'm gonna find where I stuck my 6/0 thread. I just had some here. Well, I guess I'll grab one out of the thread rack. There it is. Yeah, there we go. Black 6-aught. I'm just going to switch over to that because there's not much reason to be using this 8-aught. Just more chance of me breaking the hook or the thread. One thing I forget to do that I really mean to do every time is I normally like to mark these where the little slit is that you put your... Yeah, I was gonna say that you must have picked it up secondhand because yeah, they haven't sold them. What has it been, like almost 12 years, I guess? It's been a bit. I cannot find that little cut. Where'd it go? There it is. Nope. Is that you? No. Sorry guys, I'm trying here. There we go. Got it. I was gonna say I normally put like a little peck of like whiteout or something I can see where the little slit is, because a lot of times they close back up and it's really hard to see where they're. Anyway, that's done. Yeah, I need to not be lazy and get that done and mark my threads. It's so much more simple when you're trying to switch them out. Even like a dab of like, one point I was using just yellow and red nail polish and just putting a little dot where the little slit is. Makes it so much easier when you're trying to get your tag end in there. Especially for like Mylar tinsel and stuff, where if you don't get it in there right, that it goes sproing and goes everywhere on you. Oh, the 6:30 already? Sorry guys, my alarm's going off. One second. I didn't realize how much time went by already. I apologize. Okay, well that's my alarm to get up, make the kids lunches for school, and get breakfast going and all that good stuff. So I just want to thank everyone for hanging out with me. Sorry we didn't get a second fly in there. That went a little quicker than I was expecting. But being that I have the day off, I'll more than likely be back on later today. So thanks for hanging out, everyone. Sorry we just got the one fly in this morning, but we'll get a few more friends for them later today. Cheers. Have a good morning, all. Good luck on your gradering there, Maddie. Drive safe, Amy. That can be like a dangerous job when people aren't looking what they're doing. You too, he was. Robert, if you're still in here, I know you're probably busy at work. Victoria, thanks for stopping in. I got everyone. I think that's all the people we had this morning. Yeah, it looks like